Yeah, Etienne, thank you so much for doing this.
It's my pleasure, Antoine. Happy to be here.
You launched the company in the early 2010s during the mobile app boom. And because you were able to anticipate the growing mobile market. But having a good idea back in the day is awesome. But did you expect at such a young age that you were going to be the success that you are today?
Yeah, going back, yeah, so it was 2010, 2011. I was working with my buddies, like we were starting college, and it was just a great time to be touching a bit of tech. I was not the techie guy. My best friends were, and then we just started to have fun with, whatever we could put our hands on. And mobile was, I mean, we saw the potential, but it was accessible for us. That was the fun part of it. It was just like you could have your phone, your Android, your iPhone, and plug it to your computer and then just start putting code in it, putting some UI in it, and then it was like endless possibilities for us. So we didn't, anticipate how big the mobile could be, that specific space. But what we loved was just the idea of working with our friends and just having fun with it. It was just learning and trying new projects. So that was the
That's,
initial mindset.
that's great. And Montreal is a competitive tech hub. So when you started back in the day, what were some of the earliest challenges that you were facing?
Um, the biggest challenges was, I would say the biggest challenges were around our age, our experience. Like we were kids, we were 17, 18 years old. It was a new space, which was good for us. On one hand, people were curious to say, hey, I have a business, then I have a website, then I would definitely want an app. Like they thought if you had a website, you needed an app type of thing. And we were young and it was good for some, smaller projects, but we were looking for bigger projects from the get-go. And getting those bigger projects, if you're small, if you're three kids in a basement, it didn't cut it. So we had to partner with bigger players in the industry that would have access to these contracts. So I would say biggest challenge was just getting a reputation, getting our foot in the door of bigger contracts, more legitimate contracts. Because we could get the $5,000 projects from, the restaurant um, near my street. But when we were aiming for the 50, 100, 500K project, then we didn't have the reputation or even the expertise to do it. So that was a challenge, just being young kids in a basement. We couldn't tap into the projects that we were looking for.
I mean, 17, 18, that's so young. How do you convince the company to work with you?
Yeah, we had a different approach, right? So, I mean, for sure, people that we knew, they were like, hey, let's give you guys a chance. So that was one thing.
Okay.
We started off usually building the apps for the businesses that we believed needed a product. So I'll give you an example. Our first project, our first contract ever was a chain of restaurants. And we just figured that, hey, they would need, and I was working there. That was a busboy there. And we're like, hey, they would need an app. They could use one to showcase their menu and offer reservations. So instead of trying to convince them to give us the money to build it, we actually flipped it around. We built the product first. So we built it. It was fully functional. And then when the owner came, I showed it to him. I'm like, hey, here's what we built. And he was like, he was playing with it. He played with it for like 5 minutes and then he turned around. He's like, how much do you want for this? I'm like, I want $5,000. And
Mhm.
that's how we got our first check. It was just, we built it first and then we were able to just showcase. But I mean, the odds were that he was going to say, hey, cool, thanks for doing this, but I'm not interested. But we took a chance and we built it. So it was not, he didn't have to do a leap of faith. He had the product. So we took the leap.
And that's crazy. I mean, you built it knowing that all this effort might have been in vain. Maybe he was just going to ignore you guys, but
Hey, but we were learning, man. So we were learning. So it didn't matter. If it didn't work for that restaurant, we would have flipped it to the other. It was all good. It was just the mindset of we were naive. But we were hustlers, right? Just trying to push, trying stuff, learning. So, if we fail, doesn't matter. We learned, and then we're gonna do the next one better. But in many cases, we were able to build the solution and then present it to the potential client, and they were like, "This is awesome, perfect. How much do you want for it?" And it was a fun time. Now we don't do this anymore. Uh, the projects are a bit
Yeah,
too big and it
yeah.
doesn't work. But yeah, back in the days, 2012, 2011, people were just so curious to have a mobile app for their businesses. So that was our approach.
I mean, it sounds like you're a very ambitious group of people. So how did you assemble this early team? Who were you?
Um, we were buddies, man. It was just like my neighbors and my best friends, and that was for better or for worse. We had some difficulties, in the first couple of years where it was going well, and then, as we grow, we're kids again, so different perspectives on their on careers. So we were four, and at the end, when we graduated college, so 4 years later, we were just two. We were back to two. So it was me and my partner Nick, and we just decided that we wanted to keep going, and so that was at the end of the day the core. So once we decided, hey, we want to keep pushing this project and we want to make it a real company, then that was our core foundational team, and then we started to build around it. But yeah, so at first friends, and then we committed, and it was fun, and it's still a great journey. So 12 years later, it's 13 years later, I should say.
Mm,
Uh, it's still me and Nick, and we've surrounded ourselves with amazing people that are really motivated.
mm. So you've been working with Nick for such a long time now. I'm sure you still have some disagreements. How do you manage it together? Like, how do you get through those two different perspectives for the greater good of Third Bridge? Well, what's your process?
Yeah, the landscape um of decision making and even partners changed in the past, couple of years. So we have more partners, so employees that raise their hands and are now part of the shareholders. So we have two other partners that are the brother and the sister of Nick. So it's kind of crazy. Now it's like a family business. So we usually take decisions, us four, together. So now even like, you were mentioning making decisions. Now it's like I'm the outsider and I'm pushing against a family of three. But it's not like that at all. So we get along, and yes, we have disagreements, but usually the ratio is pretty clear, right? If somebody disagrees and the three others actually, make good arguments and they really agree, I mean, you take your spot and you're like, okay, let's go, So no major disagreements in that many years, and they're small ones, but they're not consequent. It's just decisions, day-to-day decisions, and that we keep moving on. So how do we take our decisions? It's just we're aligned, man. We're aligned on where we want to go. Um, and we just manage like that with common sense and with our values and with our mission. So that's it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the relationship is beyond partners since you've known each other for so long.
Yeah,
There's
he's my
this
husband.
Pierre Etienne, you you have some of the biggest clients in the world. How are you, like Circle K, Couche-Tard, how are you able to get clients like this? And what kind of relationship do you maintain with them? Because you've been with them for a while, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you
So yeah,
acquire customers like that, and how do you maintain that relationship?
yeah, for us, like I would say 90% of our business is either word of mouth or just, the just increasing the value for our customers. So adding over and over. So Circle K was a client that we did a tiny project for them. We were able to get a foot in the door through a partner, and it was probably like a 20K project, tiny. Um, Please debug this app that is not working the way we want. And it was a crappy project. And you know what? We take those crappy projects because we want long-term partnerships and we want to show that we're going to be there through thick and thin and through the good and the bad. And so we took small projects, crappy projects, and then we delivered. And you know what? It's easier said than done. And delivering projects in time, on budget, with quality is not something that a lot of people can do. and we were able to do it. And these big clients, it's funny because we're small, we're very small compared to the Deloittes and the big Publicis or whatever, name it. Um, but Fortune 500 Fortune 500 clients, they want to work with us because they're tired of these big companies that say that, hey, it's going to cost you $1 million and it's going to cost you, at the end of the day, you get a bill for $3 million. They're tired of that. They just want people that can commit and deliver quality. And that's the way we approached it. So we delivered that 20K project, and then the following year we got a 50K project, and then the following year we got 150, and then so on and so forth. And now it's more, a few $1 million. And it was just on delivering every time because that relationship is pretty fickle, and we need to make sure that we deliver always. Build
Mm.
a strong partnership, and then that's how we do it. We're not the best at marketing. We're not the loudest people out there, but what we do it really well.
Mm. Nowadays, a lot of people try to cut costs as much as possible. And so they try to outsource
Yeah.
to foreign companies. Are you afraid of this this huge market of people who are willing to do similar jobs for a lot cheaper? And how do you differentiate from those companies?
Yeah. Um, Yeah, we're really afraid of that. Like it's a constant concern. And then there's AI as well, that that there's that front also coming with local platforms. So I mean, we're seeing a lot of things that we need to be more efficient on how we work. We need to go faster. We need to be more efficient. But the way we differentiate ourselves are two things. One is strategy, so being a strategic partner for our customers, right? So hours of development, they're a commodity. You can go to South America, you can go to Europe, you can go to Asia, and then you start comparing hourly rates, and that's a commodity. Um, and everybody's good, right? There's like, yes, there's levels, good and bad. But at the end of the day, that's not what matters, really. What matters is the relationship you have with the client. How can you bring your client to a different place? How can you push their ideas, push their products? And the other one for us is UX. So code is one thing, but we stopped looking and focusing on code quality. For us, building products is beyond code. So it's the experience that you're going to put in the hands of the customers, making sure that people love the experience that they have whenever they open an app for the first time. So we put a lot of focus on, putting our team of design um, in front of clients, in front of employees of a company. So depending, so we do a lot of products for in-house as well, right? It's not just for B2C, it's sometimes B2B. But we take the time to listen, and we go out and we make sure that the UX is as slick as possible and as intuitive as possible. But the other one is really just partnerships. Being close to your partner, putting yourselves in their shoes, knowing their businesses inside out. That's not what a lot of people do out there, and that's what we do. It's just we understand our client's business, we understand their pain points, and we think about how we can help them all the time, um, bringing new ideas to the table. And that constant mindset of just being, hey, we're in this with you guys, and we are cutting edge. We are always thinking about, and we're looking ahead at what technology is going to bring us, and we're thinking about how we can use that technology and apply it to your business. That's the mindset that we have, and that's what we bring in terms of value. So that's like non-tangible. But for a customer, they would rather pay a bit more to work with Third Bridge because we are bringing that intangible value versus having a team in India. So unless you're really good in product strategy in your company where you can just manage it all and just outsource code, you need a partner like us to really make sure that you succeed.
Oh, that was a great answer. Pierre Etienne, you mentioned AI. What are you doing about it? Are you trying to integrate it as part of your services? Are you using it internally to enhance your coding? Um, how does it fit? It's moving so quickly. Are
Yeah,
you taking
different.
steps?
Yeah, big time. I mean, we have to. So different ways. One for sure in our practices, development practices. That's a big one. The other one is for clients. So sometimes, I mean, we don't have data scientists in-house. We don't have, people like you, Antoine, on payroll, but we do have a lot of really smart dev. And right now, what we can do is integrate AI. So there's a bunch of tools. We're partnered with AWS. They have a bunch of out-of-the-box tools. And we're trying to focus on quick wins for our customers. Um, we don't want to sit down and build a tool around AI. We want AI to be specific gains in efficiencies in our products. So I mean, just what everybody is doing right now, but it's, optimizing repetitive tasks, optimizing, whether it's, scheduling calendars. We do like emotion recognition for some of our clients. We worked with Circle K on a license plate recognition project. It's like these are not huge, complex problems, but they are problems that we can just solve with what we have out of the box. So that's it. And then whenever we do have like a curveball, something a bit more complex, then we're gonna work with partners that do have these data scientists in-house, can help us, build a model around
Mm.
it. But I would say 90% of the time we can figure it out ourselves to bring value to our customers. But we need to do it in every project. And every project has one piece that we can leverage and optimize all the time.
Awesome. And I'm going to end with this. Tariffs, political tensions, all these geopolitical stuff happening around you. Do you think about it in terms of like how it can affect Third Bridge, or are you just focused on the mission, your clients, your team?
Yeah, we just opened an office in Arizona. So we're living it, right? We're seeing
Yeah.
the other side of the coin where we're spending a lot of time in the US, and it's interesting to see how it affects it. I would say business is not reducing per se, but people are a bit more cautious in their spending. They're waiting to see a bit how it's going to stabilize. So a few customers from Canada, they are holding back a bit more on the manufacturing side. We have a few clients in that space, and they're holding back on a few projects just to see how it's going to pan out. But in the US, it's interesting to see. There's still, a bunch of projects. They're still pushing it. They call it the Trump fatigue. They're a bit tired of it. They never know how it's gonna, how they're gonna wake up one day and how he's gonna feel and what sort of tariff they're gonna do. So for sure, we're talking with clients in the construction industry in the U.S. I mean, these guys, they're a bit, not sure how to spend their money right now because they know the price of lumber and steel will be affected because they're pulling out of those all those materials from Canada. So, it's not directly, but it's our customers that are getting impacted, and our services are not um they're not impacted directly by tariffs either. So we're okay. We're in a good spot, but we're seeing a bit of, customers, construction, manufacturing that are slowing down their digital projects. So that's one aspect, but yeah, the rest is not affecting us that much.
Yeah, Etienne, thank you for your time. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Likewise, thank you, and looking forward to do it again.